Over the past 7 days, I've had the privilege to watch 3 wildly different movies. Not only were these 3 movies super different, each one was pretty unique in its own way, for better or for worse. But I want to try something new. I know usually we stick in the bathroom, but today we're going to move to new horizons because I'm a believer that there is no growth in the comfort zone. Let's go. Let's talk about some movies. So number 1 on the list for this week's movie roundup, and not number 1 as far as how much I liked it, just the first one we're talking about. Just wanted to clarify. But it is Iron Lung by the YouTuber Markiplier. I knew very little about this when I saw the poster. Basically, it's based off a 2022 video game. Markiplier is a fan of it. So he took it upon himself to bring us a feature-length movie based off the game. The premise of this film is fairly simple, but also not simple at all if you really think about it. Basically, all the stars and planets in the sky have disappeared, and the only humans left alive are those that were on space stations. Well, they've discovered a moon that has an ocean of blood. Yes, you heard that right, an ocean of blood. And something about the mysteries of this ocean of blood or minerals or something they believe can help bring salvation to the humankind. We have our main character, played by Markiplier. We'll just call him Convict, because that's basically what they call him most of the movie. And he makes a deal that he'll go down in a submarine, explore this ocean of blood, if he gets his freedom when he comes back. Because he is, as his name says, a convict. So this movie was so good and also so bad. I'll explain. As far as the good goes, this movie was unique. It was cool to see Markiplier teaming up with some other YouTubers to make this film. The acting was decent. Markiplier did a fairly good job. There were times I felt like he was acting for the first time, but then there are other times where he makes you feel that claustrophobia feeling, that suspense that this movie is going for. So I'll give him that. Wasn't perfect, but he did a good job. I mean, honestly, it's not easy to keep an audience engaged when you only have one room going for you. Yep, that's right. The whole movie, well, almost the entire movie is just in this submarine with him under this ocean of blood. As far as the style goes and the cinematography, isn't that what French do? Or who actually does that? Just Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Anyways, it was good. It looked appealing, it looked believable, and overall, I just love the production of this movie. As a fan of film and as a fan of movies, I can appreciate what Markiplier was doing, and it's a huge success. $3 million budget to make this movie, so that alone deserves applause. And it's made over $40 million already, and it's been out, I think, 2 weeks? Alright, well, as there was good, here is the bad. I mean, first off, it was freaking weird. I didn't play the video games, that's probably part of it. I didn't really know what I was getting into. Very strange, which at times is intriguing, but it was almost so strange and all over the place that it kind of reminded me of that movie Good Boy. It was that horror movie about the dog that came out last year. As far as production goes and how the film looks, oh, it is awesome. And the first film I've seen where a dog's the main character that doesn't know he's in a film. I mean, yeah, there's Air Bud and other movies, but he is really the main character. You don't even see any other humans' faces besides at the very end. So just like Good Boy, production of Iron Lung was great, but it just had a weird flow and it almost felt like a movie made for YouTube. It looked better, but honestly, I could have seen it just going directly to YouTube streaming. Now I'll say this, I'm sure the lore is fun for fans and people that love the game, or all the Redditors that are, theorizing or know a lot of the backstory.
I'm stronger, I'm smarter, I'm better, I am better!
I'm sure it was exciting to see this movie, but I believe you should go into a movie where if you don't know all the lore and background, you can still follow enough to enjoy it. I'm not saying I need all the answers. I like mysteries, but I mean, one moment this movie feels like a realistic guy in a sub under the ocean. Then the next, well, ocean of blood that is. But then the next is paranormal, and then there's giant monsters, and then it just kind of goes crazy. I get for certain people they really like that. Wasn't my cup of tea. Wait, let me re-say that. But bloody hell, it wasn't my cup of tea. Wow, that was bad too. I'll work on it. Overall, I do think it's worth watching for those that want to try it. I won't be seeing it again. But at the same time, I was Googling the lore after I saw the movie. So obviously I was into it enough that I was curious. So take it how you will. Movie number dos. We got Shelter by Jason Statham. So the premise of this movie is super unique and cool. It's about Jason Statham, but there's a twist. He actually used to be a former government British assassin. Mind-blowing, it's crazy. Guys, basically if you've seen one Jason Statham movie, you've seen them all, but also not necessarily. Because after seeing this movie, I realized even though the premises are similar, there's some that are just so fun to watch, action-packed, and pretty quality, and then there's others that are less than. As for the real premise, Jason Statham, I mean, can we just leave it at that? I feel like we can just say, we know the premise. But I'll give a brief explanation. In this movie, Jason Statham plays Michael Mason, who used to be, as I said, a former elite assassin for the British government, aka MI6. He's retired from the business. He's hiding out at an old lighthouse off the coast of Scotland. I guess it's his shelter. Hey, name of the movie. Get it? Basically, he has to protect himself and a 12-year-old girl from the organization he once worked for. This movie, guys, had so much potential. I mean, it sounds like I'm probably being sarcastic, but like I said, I love The Beekeeper. Working Man was super good. You know what you're going to get when you watch those, but, you know, sometimes we just like our action stars. I know when I watch Jason Statham, he's going to seem cool, and for the most part, there's going to be a few twists. He's going to take down the bad guys. It's fun. This movie had that potential. It had the actors, it had the talent, and it did not execute it well at all. Though, as with anything, there is some good, so let's go over it. Jason Statham himself does decent. He's the action star, he seems cool. His lines like, "I'll take a cup of tea. Yeah." Gives me goosebumps every time, even though he didn't actually say that. No spoilers, don't worry. Yeah, the action's good, the cinematography looks beautiful, and the movie, you know, it's edgy. It feels to a point realistic. They don't have the dumb jokes that other action movies try to have in. They aren't forced. The few times there is humor, it works. And one thing I'd say that I really liked about this movie, even though parts of the CIA were after him, it wasn't just like those movies where the whole CIA is like, kill him, no questions asked, go. There were people asking questions going, something doesn't add up here, and I liked seeing that side. Now, as for the bad, this movie failed me over and over and over. This movie sets up itself to make you think there's going to be a really cool twist. They're slowly giving you pieces of the puzzle, and you're like, man, I'm excited to see, you know, what's going on? Why are they after him? Just like, I mean, to a point, like your typical action ex-CIA movies. But usually you get that payoff. In this one, it never paid off. Our villain is played by the awesome actor Bill Nighy. Bill Nye, the science guy. I looked up how to say it, guys, but I'm still struggling. And he's a good actor. I really like him. But what a waste of talent. Without giving anything away, the big reveal for why they were after him was very, you know, instead of an explosion of dynamite, it's more like a little bubblegum bubble, just pop on. What? The execution should be something super cool about, like, look how corrupt these guys were. Jason Statham stopped them, and there's this big unveiling. That's all I wanted. Then the other thing is the 12-year-old girl in the movie. Forgot her name. They make her seem like a mystery to a point, like, oh, she has something to do with this, or maybe she's the target, like, there's some conspiracy. Once again, the payoff isn't really there like I wanted. It's just kind of like, hey, you're along for the ride. Just like the audience, you're kind of along for, if you call this a ride. And then there's the finale. I mean, talk about anticlimactic. One of the most anticlimactic moments in the action movie I've ever seen. There wasn't really a finale. It just kind of ended. Like, you don't get that payoff. There's a scene that I guess was meant to be the finale a little earlier, and, you know, you're expecting it to ramp up still, or something. In the end, guys, if you like Jason Statham, yeah, go watch it. Have a one-off movie night, but I won't be watching it again. I'd rather go back and watch The Beekeeper or Working Man or some of his earlier movies. Now for our last movie, which honestly might be just as wild, if not more wild than Iron Lung, as far as just craziness, bizarre.
Wow.
And that movie is the new romance film, Wuthering Heights. Now, why do I do this for romance? Well, let's just say it's not the movie I should have taken my wife to on Valentine's Day. Not what I expected at all. So Wuthering Heights is a period romantic drama. I mean, really, they should add erotic in there because these are some horny people, I'm just saying. And it's based off the 1847 novel by Emily Bront, loosely based off of. Characters' names are the same, there's tragedy, there's similarities, but they also went a different route. The premise of this movie is we have character Catherine, played by Margot Robbie, and then we have Heathcliff, played by Jacob Elordi. Basically, they meet as children, they grow up together in the same home, fall in love. Guys, this is all in the trailer. Just go watch it if you want. Heathcliff leaves. Catherine makes a choice that breaks Heathcliff's heart. They come back together years later, and craziness ensues as there's a love triangle and all sorts of other things going on. Okay, the strengths of this movie. One, Margot Robbie, of course. We've seen her act crazy. We've seen Harley Quinn. We've seen her act more serious in other roles. In this one, at some points, she's playing the girl that Heathcliff grew up with that's crazy, unstable, grew up in a poor home, but he loves her. And then other times, because she's married to a rich man, she's so proper and she sells it well and she acts this part for years in front of these wealthy people. And it's so interesting because Heathcliff shows up and she reverts right back to, I love you, Heathcliff. I mean, she's pretty unstable. Then we have Jacob Elordi, the other lead. He also does great, though his range is a lot more narrow, not because he can't do it, but because that's Heathcliff's personality. For how wildly crazy Catherine seems, Heathcliff balances out with being more mellow, somewhat common sense, or so you think. But in the moments that matter, where you need to feel emotion, you know, those moments where you're just like, Littlefoot, your mom's gonna die. Land Before Time, one of the saddest movies ever. But what made this movie so unpredictable and what I didn't expect at all is, one, the trailer is super misleading. You get it's probably gonna be one of those sad romances, and that's what I expected, but let me tell you, there's like 3 acts in this movie. Act 1, children, playing, growing up, falling in love. Act 2, children, adults coming together after 5 years and being so unhinged. Like, these characters are so toxic and crazy, and I get there in love, and as Will Smith says, man, I tell you what, love will make you do crazy things.
Oh, wow!
Take that, Chris Rock. These characters are nuts. I didn't expect it. At one point, my wife looked over at me and said, I really wanted to leave the theater, and I've never felt that way. And I was like, yeah, I feel super uncomfortable. But then she said, well, that's how you know it's a really good movie for what they're going for. I mean, there's times I've wanted to leave movie theaters because the movie is so bad, but this one's so good at making you feel how crazy everyone is and just making you feel uncomfortable that it's a great movie. And then Act 3, more toxicity, but slowly diving into madness and then just straight sadness. Like, I didn't think I was going to cry by the end because I'm like, these characters are terrible. Like, even Jacob Elordi, like I said, he's the common sense one. He balances out Catherine. He joins the craziness. It's like she consumes him with her crazy aura. But I cried at the end, guys. Oh, I cried. As far as critiques, I don't have a lot, but I will say there's some weird things. It's not historically accurate as far as for the times, as far as how they dress and kind of the style they're going for. I mean, it has a lot of historical period sets and clothing, but they really do mix it with a modern, what we'd find attractive look, I guess. And that's not a bad thing. It was kind of weird watching it, but it worked because it was an artistic choice, it was a stylistic choice, and I was there for it. I mean, Heathcliff has an earring, and he's supposed to be like a proper gentleman after the time skip. Did a little research, which I already figured this. That was considered kind of weird or awkward. So things like that, not a complaint though. The other thing that I didn't know is the movie is only the first half of the book, Wuthering Heights. It only goes through the first half, and they're not going to make a sequel. They changed some things in the movie, big things, that make it so they really can't have a sequel unless they do a whole new story. I'm not complaining, but man, I read the summary to the second half of the book. Let's just say he changes a lot.
Oh no, how terrible. That's just awful. How terrible. Oh no.
In case you ever want to read the book, I'll leave it at that. So, was this a good movie? It was a great movie. Was it a good movie for Valentine's Day? No. No. Kind of put us both in weird moods, and especially my wife felt very uncomfortable the rest of the day, and I get why. Movies can do that to you, especially when they're this crazy. So after watching these 3 very wildly different movies, but all strange movies, how would I rate them? Well, at the bottom of the list, I'm going to put Shelter with a 4 out of 10. It just wasn't good, guys. It just wasn't good. Iron Lung, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Not my style of movie. Didn't love it, but I can appreciate what it was doing. It's a big win for small-time creators, and I'm glad we have an original movie. I didn't regret watching it, just not my style. And then number 3, Wuthering Heights, definitely my favorite of the bunch. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I don't think I'd watch it again anytime soon, but it made me feel super uncomfortable, and that was the whole goal. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed these movie reviews, or the 1 or 2, or if you're cool, you watched all 3. But thanks for supporting this channel. Thanks for supporting Bathrooms, and we'll see you next time.